think it's also really helpful for moms out there to know that even when you are experts in the field, we go through real stuff. But also just really encouraging for all the moms out there. Yeah, just take us through kind of the early stage, finding out you were pregnant.
From the day I found out, I was obviously extremely tired. I think that's something that all pregnant women experience. Then the nausea was just completely different this time. But I think from week 5 and 6, it really started escalating. I didn't have any appetite. So I've been losing weight. It's not ideal because you want to make sure the baby is nourished. I always tell my clients when they go through this, have grace with yourself. It will get better. But when you're actually in that situation, it's rough. I don't feel like it's affected her yet. I don't know if it will be different when the baby actually arrives. One time this week, though, that did felt like a little stab in the heart is she was telling me, "Mommy, you don't smile anymore the way you used to before the baby in your belly." Yeah, I think it's just best if you have an older child. It's easier to be able to talk to them and say, this is what's happening. The baby is making mommy feel a little bit ill at the moment, but it will pass. Reassuring your love for them in that time. Days when you are a bit man down, knowing that it's not them, that you will feel better.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Baby. And we are going to go on a very, very exciting journey. And to join me on that journey today is Anneke da Silva. She is a pre- and postnatal exercise specialist, and a lactation consultant and a doula. But her main focus at the moment is pre- and postnatal exercise. And she is also a mom. So welcome, Anneke, to our podcast. We've had you on before, which was amazing, but it's so lovely to have you back and to be going on a journey with you.
Thank you so much. Yes, I am excited to be going on this journey, but I think it's going to be very nice to be able to do it with you guys as well and walk with the audience through this whole very exciting pregnancy journey.
Absolutely. So just tell us a little bit about your family. You're obviously married, and then just give us a bit of a background to who is Anneke.
So I'm married to a very wonderful husband. He's Portuguese, so a very different family dynamic to the Afrikaans culture, but we made it work and we blend very well. And then we've got a daughter. She's turning 5 next year, so she's 4.5 now. Aliana is her name. She keeps us on our toes. She is one heck of a busybody. I don't know where that child gets her energy from, but from the moment her eyes open in the morning until she goes to bed at night, it is just go, 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 go. But she keeps us on our toes. And then I'm now 12 weeks into my second pregnancy. And yeah, she's very excited. I think that's what's nice about her being a bit older. She can actually understand that she's getting a little baby brother or sister. And yeah, so we've got a bit of a roller coaster waiting for us 2024, but we're going to wing it.
Awesome. Well, it's just so wonderful. I just feel so privileged to do this journey with you. And it's just going to be a lot of fun as we just explore and then bring some really good insight into within both our fields and be able to just give people some good handles to work with going forward. So our goal, everyone, is really that we are going to journey with Anneke through her different trimesters. She's already almost towards the end of her first trimester, and I think it's been quite rocky. So we're going to chat a little bit about that now. But just as we go through the journey with her, she's going to give us tips because her profession is helping parents and new moms to be with exercise, keeping their bodies strong. And for those of you that haven't seen her podcast that we did with her with regards to the pre- and postnatal exercise, you must please go back and watch it because it was absolutely fantastic and so much information that's been so valuable. I wish I'd known that when I was going through my pregnancies. But let's just go to kind of these 12 weeks, and we'll unpack it a bit more as we go down, and probably our next podcast will just be looking at how to navigate those early days. But just take us through kind of the early stage, finding out you were pregnant, and then just, this age gap that you have got. Was it planned? Was it kind of just how it happened? Yeah, maybe just give us a little bit of glare into your world and just what you've been going through the last 12 weeks.
I actually can't believe it's been 12 weeks. So it's been a very different pregnancy than with Aliana. With her, I wasn't really sick. I had the normal queasy feeling or that little slight nausea that you feel all day, but it never led to like any vomiting or really feeling ill. So this pregnancy has really hit me hard because from the day I found out I was pregnant, I found out at 2 weeks already because we were planning the pregnancy. So then you kind of expect, you're a bit more, I think, alert to when to test and things. And from the day I found out, I was obviously extremely tired. I think that's something that all pregnant women experience. And then the nausea was just completely different this time. It wasn't that bad in the first 2 or 3 weeks, but I think from week 5 and 6, it really started escalating to the point where I couldn't manage to keep any food in. I didn't have any appetite, so I didn't want to eat. And when I actually ate food, it didn't really stay in. So I've been losing weight as well, and which is not ideal because you want to make sure the baby is nourished and that you are strong and healthy during the pregnancy. So actually, this pregnancy has been hard because I obviously couldn't even get to my own fitness. I couldn't get to the gym because I'm sleeping or vomiting or nauseous the whole time. So it took a bit of a mental toll as well, because for me, my exercise and my gym and my fitness, that part of my life, my health lifestyle it's very important. I think for my mental health as a mom, it's your own, it's a bit of your me time that you get. And I just couldn't manage to get there. So I really had to learn to have a bit of grace with myself. I always tell my clients when they go through this, have grace with yourself. It will get better. But when you're actually in that situation, it's rough, it's difficult. And then having a 4-year-old daughter at home, it's also, you have to, at night when she gets, in the afternoons when she gets home from school, it's difficult to feel the way you feel and then still be present as a mom and as a wife and have to go through all of it. But you feel like you actually just want to sleep the whole day and you just feel terrible. And then I think around week 9, I got admitted to the hospital because it just got too bad. And they had to admit me a day or two just to give me fluids again and just to help stop the nausea a little bit, just so that I could kind of restart again, or like the doctor press reset on my body. It's been rough. But there's nothing else you can do than just go through it because there's nothing you can do. They've got 1 or 2 medications you can take for nausea, but I'm not a big fan of medication during pregnancy. So I really do try to only take it when I really, really need to take it. So I've been managing it with the medication as I go when it's really necessary. But it's been rough. And then now the bad days aren't so often. So they come and go, but the good days in between, I really take them and I utilize them when I've got a good day because I don't know how tomorrow is going to be. So I only hope that it gets a bit better from here on out. And then the age gap. I think if you asked me 10 years ago, I would have said, no, I'd like to have 2 kids like relatively quickly, like 2 years apart. But I had quite a traumatic birth experience with Aliana. It's also something we can chat about later. But I had HELLP syndrome. So no one picked up. I had blood pressure and it escalated into HELLP syndrome. And the birth was quite traumatic. Postpartum was really rough for me. And I just didn't know if I wanted another baby for quite a while. And the risk of getting HELLP syndrome again with this pregnancy. So I'm actually a high-risk pregnancy at the moment because of that risk that I've got to develop preeclampsia severely into HELLP again. So I'm being monitored a lot more closely. I had to do a few extra blood tests this time around. So it's a different pregnancy. So there's a lot mentally for me to unpack with this pregnancy as well, and that I have to kind of make peace with before actually the day as the birth approaches. Because I birthed with midwives with Aliana, and I can't do that again. I'm a high-risk pregnancy, so I have to birth in a hospital. And I know for most people that's such a normal thing, but I really, really loved the experience of being able to do it in a midwife center. It was still in a hospital, but it was just midwives, my husband and myself. So it was very private and very. So knowing that I have to do it in a clinical environment, hospital, for me is quite a mind change. But that's why the gap was so big. I didn't actually know if I wanted another kid. But here we are, because I felt like Aliana deserves a sibling and someone else to keep her busy.
Keep her energy in check. She's going to have a playmate.
Yes.
Well, thanks for sharing. And I think just also being vulnerable. And I think it's also really helpful for moms out there to know that even when you are experts in the fields yourselves, like we are in our different fields, we go through real stuff. And one of our co-host, Sammy, who's recently had her baby, has also been through ups and downs, and it's been quite a journey. And I think sometimes, it just highlights that we are quite hard on ourselves, and it's almost like, like you mentioned, I tell my moms to have grace for themselves, but I'm struggling to have that same grace for me.
Yes.
And so I think that also just really encouraging for all the moms out there to say that even when you know all the information and you've been doing this for years and years, until you go through it yourself in your journey, it really is a reality. And I think the biggest message here is just kindness to ourselves.
Yes.
And just allowing ourselves some time and not to be superwoman. That it is hard. It's hard for the other child. What did you find helpful for Eliana when you were going through this? What was helpful that you found to help her to cope with this? It's exciting news. I'm going to have a brother or sister, but at the same time, right now, it's even like making my mommy sick. And so
Yes.
it's just navigating that. Have you been able to kind of have conversations with her? Maybe something that could help another mom out there who's kind of struggling.
She's been so resilient. I just think kids are just amazing. She has actually been, not since the day we told her she's getting a baby brother or sister, she's just been so excited. And every time I'm sick or I'm not feeling well, and this was just also goes to show how, I guess, the example you set for your kids and how you treat them already starts showing at such a young age. Because some nights when I'm really not feeling well, she'll bring me one of her teddies and she'll come make a little bed by the couch where I'm lying. And she's like, "What can I do for you?" And is he okay, mama? She'll always check in on me. And she's been so caring and resilient, and just, I don't feel like it's affected her yet. I don't know if it will be different when the baby actually arrives, if maybe for her reality will be a little bit more real when the baby's actually here. But up until now, she's been so excited. Everywhere we go, everyone she sees, she's like, "There's a baby in my mom's belly. She's getting a baby brother or sister." She's been so caring. I mean, she's 4, turning 5 soon. And I've just been so in awe of actually how well she's handled it. One time this week, though, that did kind of felt like a little stab in the heart is she was telling me, "Mommy, you don't smile anymore the way you used to before the baby in your belly." And I was like, because I'm not feeling well, So it's also how kids pick up on your emotions and how you're feeling. And I use that as an opportunity to say that it's, it's not you. It's just that mommy's really not been feeling well. It will pass soon. And, I'm sorry that you've picked up on this. But it's, as resilient as she is, she's obviously picked up that I've been having quite a rough time for the past 10 to 12 weeks and not been my complete self. So, I think it's just best if you have an older child, it's easier to be able to talk to them and say, "This is what's happening. The baby is making mommy feel a little bit ill at the moment, but it will pass." And, I think reassuring your love for them in that time, days when you are a bit man down, knowing that it's not them. It's not that you don't want to play with them, but you will feel better. Yeah, but when the children are smaller, I think it's a bit more difficult. I don't know how you can get that through to them. So I take my hats off to moms who have a smaller gap and they can't really communicate properly with the child to kind of chat to them and explain a little bit more that they can understand.
Yeah, I think being honest with children in the level that they can manage and understand is such a helpful thing. And I think, I've learned also as a mom not to be so kind of anal about protecting the children from real life, because they go out there and life has got ups and downs and roller coasters. And I think if our children kind of have this idea that life is perfect and not at all, like, we try and keep the environment so perfect, I don't think it's actually to their advantage in the long run, because they don't really get to learn realness, vulnerability. You've been very vulnerable with her, and I think and the fact that she can actually say what she said to you, I think also just kind of attests to your relationship with her, that she can feel comfortable and then not feel, and then you didn't dismiss her. You just really explained again what was happening and helped her link the two, because often, she's just not able to do that. And I think instead of just going, no, mommy's fine, that becomes very confusing, because she knows you're not fine, like you said. And I think just being real with our kids, as we go through life with them at the levels they can understand, and they often can understand a lot more than we think, like you said. She is actually very aware of what's going on in the environment. So I think this was just such a lovely start. We're just doing a short one today, and we're going to look forward to the next one, where we will definitely go into kind of the early trimester, what things we can do when you have morning sickness, and I'll be sharing some ideas, and then you can also just bring to us just some, like, what you can do from an exercise point of view in that first trimester. So I look forward to that one, because that will give our moms some handles. But I'm glad that your good days are becoming more, and your bad days are becoming less. And I'm sure by the time we speak again, it will be even better on the other side. You're starting to kind of go to the other side. And shame. And I really just, hope that you can rest as much as possible during this time. But thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to come on this journey with you. I think it's a great privilege to us and the moms who are watching, and dads who are watching, and maybe we get your hubby on board one day just to give his little 2 cents worth. Yeah, that would be amazing.
How he coped with a wife for 12 weeks. That was, I think it's also
what helps. Yeah. And I think also just what you said earlier on, you're just being vulnerable with us, just the mental work you're going to be doing on this pregnancy because of the previous pregnancy. And I see that with moms, when in the neonatal ICU, and when they have their first prem and then they go into their second pregnancy, and kind of almost that's when the post-traumatic stress of what you went through starts to surface. And just to have a place where you can just share and unpack that. And we'll definitely get our clinical psychologist, Dr. Jenny. You haven't met her, but she's amazing. She'll definitely come on board and do some therapy with you on our podcast.
That'll be amazing. I think it's going to help during this pregnancy, because
exactly. So thank you so much. Thanks everyone for watching today, and we look forward to doing this journey with Anneke and all of you coming alongside us. And we wish everyone well. Thank you so much. Thanks, Anneke.
Bye.